Welcome back, everyone. It's 404 giving you the third game in a best of 7 between LaLuSh and Naama, the Terran. Looks like we did go for Scrap Station on this map. Looks like LaLuSh did indeed decide to go for Scrap Station. Probably because it's more favored for Terran because they can secure this natural expansion so easy because the rush distance is so great. So we do have the Overlord coming out for LaLuSh, and Nama's going to be probably placing down his bunker or his supply depot rather in the front. So really just standard stuff. Doesn't look like either player is going to go for any type of cheese or anything like that on this map. A little recap on last game. It was Steps of War, and we saw very similar builds, especially the Terran went pretty much the exact same build. Marine Marauder, early Hellion harass into Banshee play or harass. And the Zerg player LaLuSh didn't really have anything to counter it. As the game before, he did go with Hydras, which dealt with the Banshees pretty easily. But looks like LaLuSh last game decided to go straight to Ultralisk really, and on Steps of War with that short rest distance, the Terran was just able to get a lot of forces over there really fast and contain the Zerg player just to one base. And once the Ultralisk popped, there was really not much that LaLuSh could do. So let's see. We'll see if we have any type of similar play on this map. One thing to note: looks like Naama is not going to go for a wall in that Terrans regularly do. Or if he does, it might be some kind of later wall in, as spawn and pull is almost complete for LaLuSh. It's very interesting though that he did go pull before hatch, as most Zergs, like I said, do like to get this expansion as it's very easily protected with these rocks. One thing to note, as I said in the earlier videos, this is post-patch 1.1, so Reaper build time is a little bit longer. But we do already have gas going down for Naama. Going to be getting a lot of gas, and looks like he's going to be putting their reactor down on the barracks. Should be done just about the same time this factory is, and he will switch these two and more than likely double produce Hellions, that's what he did before. So Scout coming in for Naama, being shooed away by these looks like 6 slings. He is going to get his expansion. Metabolic boost is on the way. Orbital command for the Terran is on the way as well. Looks like his timing on this one was indeed a little bit off because he did have to float his racks across the map just a little ways to get that reactor, complete his wall in. So actually this is very similar to the last game. I actually forgot he makes 1 Hellion. When that's done, he's going to lift this off. If he sticks with the same build, he's going to lift that off and switch the reactor and start double producing Hellions. And wow, it's up, and let's see if he can get some Lings into his base. If he can get Lings in here and kill some of these SCVs, that will be very, very good. He is denying these 2 buildings being landed, and he has 4 Lings inside the base. Wow, all the SCVs of Naama being forced to pull off the line, as this Hellion is going to be able to clean up these Lings pretty easily. But wow, that was just good timing, good game sense by LaLuSh to know that he was going to swap those 2 buildings and to run them up in there, as he has done every game, so he can start double reducing these Hellions. So total of 3 Hellions. This Hellion almost dead. Ton of Marine or SCV is going to come in here and repair it. 1-1-1 build with the tech lab. So we're obviously going to see Banshees. Looks like Naama's, for Surefire open. Bunker being built here to fortify this front wall just a little bit more, as Banglings are always a viable option. Back over here, looks like the expansion is up. Queen is on the way. Layer already on the way, as we do have looks like Ling Roach into double gas. Looking at the production tab just so I don't miss anything. We do have an Evo chamber going down. So again, these early upgrades for the Zerg player, always an option, as he has been doing in the previous 2 games. Both players actually keeping very good control of their upgrades. This Banshee is coming across the field. I don't know if LaLuSh did see these this starport, but he does have a well-placed Overlord here, so he should know there is a Banshee on the way, and that is also what he has did the past couple of games. Spore Color about halfway complete. 2 Queens going to come in. That would make quick work of that Banshee. Naama does decide to pull out with his Banshee to spare its life. What do we have here? The Banshee is checking these rocks for any suspicious activity. Looks like he might come in with these 5 Hellions this time and the Banshee. Before it looks like he was going with like 2 or 3 Hellions, 1 Banshee. These Queens could fall. If these Queens did fall, actually they were smart and decided to focus down the Banshee, but if this Queen does fall, LaLuSh will not have much at all to deal with this air. Spire is on the way, roaches are out, gonna shoo away these Hellions. Very low hit point Banshee. Able to just peck away at those roaches, because roaches of course cannot shoot air. Back over here at the Terran base, he is throwing down an Expo. It's actually almost done. What else do we have going on here? Looks like another Banshee being trained up, as they're probably just going to come. The Hellions and Banshee of Naama is probably just going to come capture this watchtower. Looks like he does have an SCV here. Probably going to pair all those up to a pretty good health, so they can go in and harass / attack a little bit more. Looking at the Harvester tab, the Terran is ahead of the Zerg player, because the Zerg player was forced to make so many drones, or not focusing on drones, to make roaches and lings, as he is also getting 4 gases up. So we should see the Zerg player pull ahead fairly shortly, as if he doesn't, that could only be bad news for the Zerg player. Pulling back up the production tab, we do have Stem coming in. Now Medivacs, he's switching from the Banshee play to Medivacs. So we have very similar build to the past 2 games. Lots of Marines, lots of Marauders, Medivacs, and probably some tanks coming on the way sooner or later. These Mutas are now out. They could pick off this Raven and maybe this Banshee, which would just be huge, because Ravens do cost a lot of money, and this Banshee is not very cheap either. But the 4 Mutas do come in for LaLuSh, and he's going to try to pick off maybe some of those Hellions. No, he decides not to. He's going to run out here to the expansion. There is indeed 1 missile turret up. Going to pick off these 2 SCVs, building these reactors though, which is always good. Looks like he might be trying to get a snipe on one of those mules. Doesn't look like he is going to be able to, though, as Marines do come in. But wow, totally turned the tables, because we seen the Terran player putting a lot of harassment on the Zerg player the last game, and now it's indeed the other way around. There are a couple of roaches here, possibly going to be caught opposition. Maybe he's trying to bait them, so the Zerg player can get these Mutas and start picking off some of these Marines, maybe the Medivacs or something like that. Back at the income tab, wow, no, the Zerg player is not droning very hard at all, as he's focused on massing up a pretty decent sized armory, but he is behind in army and behind in harvester count. As this huge force of Marines, looks like a Raven, a Banshee, a Medivac, and just a ton of Hellions. Hellions going to scout forth a little bit, see if there's anything going on, but wow, we do have a ton of Mutas coming in for the Zerg player. Lots of missile turrets, so not going to be able to get much done, and the Marines and Banshee force are coming back for the Terran player, Naama. So it looks like the Terran player was going to make some kind of early or mid-game push, and he was pulled back to his base by the Muta harassment of the Zerg player. Mutas are just so darn mobile on this map, as the rush distance for the Mutas are very short, but he already knew that there was missile turrets down here. There actually is a forward missile turret, so there won't be anything to get pick off. Marine stemming, lots of Marine stemming, able to pick off I think 1 Muta, no Mutas, 1 very low hit point Muta and another semi low hit point Muta. Might bring a queen in to try and transfuse the Mutas. So Muta's just flying around checking for expos, making sure nothing fishy's going on, because you do not want to be out macroed by a Terran player. But we do have infestors More mutas.